My name is Ethan Miller, and if there's one thing I love more than Christmas itself, it's decorating for it. Every year, my family and I would go all out, glowing reindeer on the lawn, dancing lights on the roof, a Santa that waved from the porch, and music synced to a radio station that played holiday tunes all night long. It wasn't about showing off, it was about joy. The kids loved it. Neighbors would walk over with hot cocoa just to see it. For 1 month a year, our street came alive. Until the HOA decided it was too bright for the community standard. It started with a letter, of course it did. A cold, boring white envelope taped to my door. Notice of violation, excessive exterior decoration, and noise disturbance. Noise disturbance, my lights didn't make a sound. They claimed my synchronized music system was disruptive. The same system that ran on a low FM frequency and could only be heard if you tuned in from your car. The fine, $500, due immediately. At first, I thought it was a mistake, so I called the HOA office. A woman named Barbara answered, and yes, she had that tone. "Mr. Miller, your decorations are creating unnecessary attention. Our neighborhood prides itself on uniformity." I said, "Barbara, it's Christmas. Isn't joy supposed to attract attention?" Her response, "Joy is fine, chaos is not." And she hung up. I could have taken the lights down, paid the fine, called it a day. But instead, I sat in my driveway, staring at the twinkling lights, thinking of my daughter, Emma. She was 8, and every night she'd press her face against the window, watching the lights blink in rhythm with the music. She'd giggle every time Santa waved. I wasn't about to let some rulebook steal that. So I came up with an idea. The next day, I started making calls, not to the HOA, but to the city permit office. I explained the situation, told them about my decorations, the neighborhood tradition, and the noise complaint from the HOA. The man on the line chuckled. "Sounds like you're running a community event," he said. I paused. "Wait, a community event?" He said, "Yeah, if you file it as one, you can apply for a temporary seasonal permit. That would make it city approved and outside HOA jurisdiction." That was it, my Christmas miracle. Within 48 hours, I had everything in motion. I filed for a community holiday display and fundraiser permit. The next part, I added a twist the HOA couldn't fight: charity. I reached out to the local food bank and partnered with them. Every visitor who came to see the lights could drop off canned goods or donate online. The lights weren't just decoration anymore, they were part of a cause. We called it Lights for Love. By the first week of December, the show was ready. Thousands of LED bulbs danced to Jingle Bell Rock. A giant sign in front read, "This show supports the City Food Bank. Thank you for helping families in need." And yes, Barbara saw it. She stormed up my driveway one evening, clipboard in hand. "Mr. Miller, this is outrageous. You can't host public displays in a private neighborhood." I smiled, held up my permit, and said, "Actually, Barbara, I can. The city approved it as a public charity event. You're welcome to donate." Her jaw dropped. She sputtered something about traffic congestion and property values, then stomped off into the night, illuminated by 50,000 twinkling LEDs. A few days later, the local news showed up. The headline read, "Neighborhood HOA tries to shut down Christmas. Local dad turns it into charity event instead." Cars lined up down the street every night. Kids waved from their windows. Even the mayor came by, shaking my hand and thanking me for turning frustration into generosity. That week alone, we raised over $12,000 and collected more than 3,000 pounds of food for local families. Every night, when I'd check the lights one last time before bed, I'd see Emma asleep by the window, the glow of the lights dancing across her face. And I'd think, yeah, this was worth it. But the HOA wasn't done yet. Mid-December, they tried another tactic. They called the police, reporting unsafe electrical usage. 2 officers showed up. They looked at the display, smiled, and said, "We saw you on the news. This is awesome." They took one look at the electrical setup, all professionally installed, all code compliant, and left with 2 candy canes. The HOA had officially lost every card they could play. On Christmas Eve, we hosted the final night of the show. It snowed lightly, just enough to make the lights sparkle even brighter. Neighbors came with hot cocoa and blankets. Families sang along to the carols. Even Barbara showed up, though she stayed in her car at the end of the street. When the countdown hit 0, the entire display lit up to Silent Night. A hush fell over the crowd. For a few magical minutes, everything was still, glowing, peaceful, perfect. And when the song ended, I heard something unexpected. Applause. Dozens of people clapping, cheering, even tearing up. It was the best Christmas gift I could have imagined. A few weeks later, I received another letter from the HOA. But this one was different. It said, "Dear Mr. Miller, the board acknowledges your successful community event. We would like to discuss the possibility of making the annual light show an official neighborhood tradition. Sincerely, the Willow Grove HOA Board." I laughed so hard, I nearly dropped the letter. The same people who find me were now asking to co-host the very event they tried to destroy. Now every December, Lights for Love is the highlight of the entire town. We've raised over $80,000 for charity since that first year. Families drive from miles away to see the show. And the HOA. They help with setup now. Barbara even coordinates parking. Sometimes, when people ask me what changed their minds, I tell them this. Rules are made to keep order, but when they forget compassion, they lose their purpose. That Christmas, I didn't just win against an HOA. I reminded a community what the season was really about.